Well, it's been a while, but I figure it's about time for a new video. It's been about 9 months or so, and this is another new arrival. It's a horse-drawn buggy that I've been building in the last couple of months, and it's got a lot of new parts on it, like these shaves that I bought, and the cross piece and all, but a lot of pieces that I've made, like this brace, and of course all the wood parts. My brother-in-law welded the frame for me, and he also brought me these wheels that I've had to do some work on, and I've replaced some spokes on the rear wheels. That's an interesting job. You have to take the wheel completely apart, and I've got pieces and parts here and there, like these springs, the back springs. I traded some other springs to an Amish fellow for this. The front springs my father-in-law had sitting around his house, just gathering dust. They were there when he got the place 40 years ago. And these steps, they were kind of an interesting story. They were sitting beside a tree when he bought his place in 1972, and they were still sitting by the same tree. So they're in pretty good shape. I've got the other one to put on, and also these supports for the shaft. Those were sitting beside the same tree. All I had to do was basically change the arc in them, and that just took a few beats with the hammer. And there were some other pieces that he had laying around that I traded for more modern parts. And I also found a gentleman that had basically all the running gear, and it was 100 years old. So I traded it for newer stuff. I guess the Amish still use that 100-year-old stuff, but it has a few parts that are hard to find on it. And of course the fifth wheel down there, and those reaches I cut out of an old hardened white oak plank that I had. And as you can see underneath there, I don't know if you can get a very good look, but there's the frame that he welded up. I've got some pieces here to fasten on, like this trim piece here, and this trim piece here. I've got to finish bending it and put it on. It'll eventually look like that one over there. And some of the old pieces I did use. Here's my kitty, only one of 4 that lived. Like these pieces here that go back to the reaches. That was off an original 100-year-old buggy, as were the pieces that hold the springs onto the box. And I've got a trunk on it. And most of the other wood is just some, well, the wood actually came, my father-in-law had a pile of different species of wood that's been drying forever in his garage, so he let me have a few pieces of it. And I bought some other, like this is a store-bought piece of lumber that I had laying around here. It was twisted, so I got 2 pieces that size out of it. And the other is just odds and ends. This is an oak plank that an Amish neighbor had, that he was using this for siding on his barn, and he had this extra, so he gave it to me, so I'm going to use it for a seat. And there's other pieces that I just, like I said, horse traded and found laying around the countryside here and there. And I am just about done with it. These are some rub rails that my brother-in-law welded these nuts on here, right here and here. I did that this morning, or this afternoon, and that's to go, about right here. It'll be sitting about like that, and that's so when the front tire comes back, it'll hit this and not the box of the buggy. And in theory, this is supposed to just go ahead and roll. That way it'll not damage the tire or the or the wheel or the box. But the reason for all this is long about middle of December, one of our Amish neighbors said that he was moving to Kentucky, and he had told me about a horse that he had, and he couldn't take her with. He'd only had her for about 6 months, and he found out that she was what they call a cribber. And I won't go into what that is, but it's basically a nervous disorder, and they get ulcers in their stomach, and it's a thing that makes it kind of annoying more than anything else, and it causes them to lose some weight. And I talked to him about the horse and everything. He said he wanted $100 for it. And I figured, well, there's no way I can come up with $100, especially for a horse, so I just kind of put the idea out of my mind. Well, in the middle of January, he went ahead and moved. And it was about a month later that I went over there and I at his old place, and I saw the horse. And I thought, well, I wonder what the deal is with this horse. It's still sitting here. So I inquired about it and everything, and anyway, long story short, about the 1st of March, he said, "You own a horse." So she's harness broke, and I figured that I needed a buggy. This is a whole lot cheaper to build than it was to buy, so there you go. And hopefully, I got to get a harness, but hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks or so, I can have the thing on the road and be driving a horse. But we'll see.